Hi, today I'm going to do a no makeup look. It's a good look for lots of different things. Sometimes I do this kind of look in the evening if I'm wearing something that's quite ornate or very colourful or kind of, very done. It kind of helps you look more modern in a way. But it's great for during the day as well. It's great for loads of occasions. I'm going to pick up my son from a school trip today and I don't want to turn up at the school with makeup on. So it's good for lots of things. Now, how you do it is completely dependent on your skin tone. There's no one look, no makeup look for every single person. So I'm going to talk you through some options. Okay, to start with, I'm going to use, instead of moisturiser, I'm going to use an oil-free makeup block, which is Peter Thomas Roth, and this is this ultra light factor 30, because I don't want to have too many products on my skin, and my skin sort of makes its own moisture really, especially this time of year. I'd also do the backs of my hands and my chest with this and neck. So that's my combined primer, moisturiser and sunblock on. Next I'm going to use something that's just going to enhance my skin, so give it kind of a very dewy, real look. There's kind of a lot of products on the market at the moment that aren't really highlighters and they're not moisturisers, they're kind of in between. Something like Eclat Miracle by Lancome is good because it's sort of like a primer but it's got some shimmer in, but very, very, very low level. Another thing you could use is just your regular highlighter, so whether you've got the Becca Shimmery Skin or whether you've got the Benefit one or whatever, just put a dot of that and mix it in with your moisturiser because that's exactly the same thing. And I'm just going to put this onto my cheeks, just rub it in. It's just going to catch the light, but in a really subtle, no makeup way. So when I'm in daylight and in the sun, it's not going to start twinkling and sparkling and looking all fake. Because I've got oily skin, I'm not going to put it any more than here and here. If you're very dry skinned, you could put a dot with your moisturiser and put it all over just to give your skin a little bit of life. But as I say, go very, very easy on the sparkles and the shimmer because it is meant to be no makeup. It's all about cheating really, no makeup. It's a sort of, how can we deceive the eye into thinking there's absolutely no makeup on, and it can be done. So whatever you do next depends on how good your skin is. If your skin is great, then skip foundation. I'm going to use a tiny bit of foundation. I'm going to use some Healthy Mix by Bourjois, but I'm not going to use it everywhere. I'm just going to put a little dot around my mouth here. Let's see where else. Just wherever I'm got a bit of pigmentation, and then just blend that in. I like this foundation because you can't see it. I've looked at it through a magnifying mirror. I've got a massive times 20 or something magnifying mirror that I always check foundations in, and this one you can't see it sitting on the skin. Okay, so next I'm going to use a light reflective pen. I'm going to use the Fusion Beauty one, which I like because it's almost like a cross between a concealer and a light reflective pen. Some of them are very, very thin and very, very light reflective and can go a little bit ashy. This one, like the Clinique one that I like, has got a little bit more meat to it, so it does more, it works harder. This one's light, but they have other colours. And I'm going to use this everywhere I think I just need a bit of lightening up. So this is great if you have any pigmentation or just to make your skin look fresher. So for me, I'm going to use it all around here, into the corner of my nose, a little bit on my chin. And then I'm going to blend that with fingers as well. You can use a brush if you want, but you can see it's just giving a little bit more coverage, but also it's just lightening up my dark areas, my areas that are a little bit red. But because it's so thin, it's not going to be sitting on the skin and looking like makeup. If you've got a little bit of time to spend on it, within reason, spend most of the time on your skin. Because if your skin's perfected, it's amazing how little you can get away with everywhere else. So that's all the little bits and pieces concealed. And really, touch of powder, you could stop there. Just curl your eyelashes and put a little bit of tinted lip balm on, and that would be a nice no makeup. But I'm going to go further and do all the other areas of the face. So I'm going to save a little bit of the Cover FX. This is a really good alternative for people who can't get the Vichy Derma blend that I used in my acne covering, because it's very pliable, but it also has good coverage. So although I love the Vichy Derma blend, I know it is a little bit hard to get, and also the colours aren't amazing, so that could be an alternative. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is, the reason I saved this back here is because I'm going to put something on my cheeks, and I might need to do a little tiny bit more concealing. So for cheeks, it depends really. The thing about no makeup is, if you think of someone like Emmanuelle Alt, who's the editor of French Vogue, who always does the chicest no makeup and looks incredible, but she's very tanned and bronzy and has very dark hair. So for her, a no makeup look is more of a bronzy bit of bronzer and a tiny bit of black eyeliner and lip balm, and she looks great. But depending on your colouring, it depends what colour you're going to use to look like that. So for me, it wouldn't necessarily be bronzer, and it would be sort of lightish tones. But the darker your skin is, you have to really consider you have to sort of work with the natural colour of your skin tone when you're doing no makeup. There's no point doing like a nude lip if your lips are naturally quite pink, because then you're going to look done rather than undone. So work with the tones in your skin. So for example, I'm going to do something for my cheeks now. So I'm not going to do anything really peachy or really bright pink, because my skin tends to go, when I blush naturally, a sort of lightish pink, and it doesn't go too orangey because I'm not too olivey. So I'm going to use something like, I think, Powder Pink, which is one of the Bobbi Brown paint, what is it called? Pot Rouges. I'm going to pop a bit onto my cheeks. Just pat on first, and then I'm just going to blend that in. And you just want to use it where you would blush naturally. So if you imagine you've been for a walk, where your skin naturally goes pink. I'm also going to use this on my lips. And as I say, I want my lips to look the same colour, more or less, as they normally are, just slightly enhanced. Now I'm going to use some powder because I have combination skin. I'm going to use some of the Corres powder, brightening powder. And you don't want to over powder for no makeup, so just wherever you need it. Now onto the eyes. You can go as far as you like with this. I'm going to start by curling my eyelashes. Now again, you could just leave it there. Curled eyelashes on their own look great, or you could use a serum just to give them a little bit of shine, and also it's looking after them. I'm going to go on and use some mascara. I'm going to use DJV Beautinizer, and this is Fibre Wig LX mascara. So unlike a regular mascara, this is adding fibre, so it's making the hair look longer, but it doesn't look like regular mascara. So again, you could leave it there, or if you need to do a little bit of eyebrows, if you have very sparse eyebrows or you have gaps to fill in, I'm going to use a powder. I'm going to use, this is eyeshadow, it's called Bossy by Benefit, with a little brush. And for no makeup, you don't want to have a line at the top. You don't want to have them so defined. So I think it's better just to put a little bit here and there to fill in the odd gap, but you don't want to have that really defined brow. That's all you need to do. With the same colour, if you have either sort of droopy eyelids or they're quite hooded and you really need some definition, you can use exactly the same colour that you used on your brows with a 217. Take most of it off the brush, so it's very, very soft. Raise your brows and just put in a touch of shadow, but again, it's not to look like makeup, so just to give a definition. And if your eyes are either hooded or they just need a bit of a lift, just relax your eyes and add a tiny bit of shadow in there. But it should look completely natural, so not like eyeshadow at all, which is why using a matte one is really good, because a small amount of matte will just look like a natural shadow. Again, you could leave it there. If you're someone that can never go out the house without your eyeliner on, then just use eyeliner in a slightly different way. I'm going to use the Inglot. I'm going to use brown because this is going to suit me, but if you're very, very pale blonde, use something that's a bit more greyish. And again, if you really, really dark, then you can use a black pencil. What I'm going to do is, instead of using a line, I'm just going to massage that in to the roots of the lashes, because I just want to make my lashes look a little bit thicker. Feels a bit strange, but it does work, and you end up with outer line. So it's not on the waterline, it's just above the waterline into the roots of the lashes. And if you've done it right, it won't even need blending. And all it does is just make your eyelashes look thicker and give you that little bit of definition, but no one would ever know you're wearing liner. A couple of dots there, just to thicken up my lash line. But go on with a light hand, the fairer you are. And to finish off, you really don't need to do this if you don't want to, but I'm going to use a matte bronzer. I'm going to use the Bourjois matte bronzer. Take a little bit onto a brush and touch onto my neck, because my neck is a little bit paler than my face. And then I'm going to use just a fraction, hardly any at all, just onto the side. So that's a finished look, and I think the main things to remember with no makeup to achieve it in a believable way is that you don't want any lines anywhere, so no lines across the brow, no visible lines of the eyeliner, no visible line of contour or blusher or lip liner. Everything needs to be very blended and almost in synergy with the skin. Also, texture wise, anything really, really glossy or shiny or shimmery is not natural, so you want everything to be very on the low down and very sort of subtle. And then in terms of colour, remember that no makeup colours are different for every single skin tone, so bear in mind the natural colours that are within your skin, and you're trying to just emphasise and bring those out. And you can do it very, very simply, just like I did in the beginning, which is lightening the shadowy areas and just doing a little bit of perfecting and curling your eyelashes. Or you can do everything and sort of embellish your whole face, but still look like you're not wearing any makeup. So although it doesn't look actually all that different, if you look at the before now against this, you can see that it actually does make a huge difference. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.